my conductor, of my plumbing. Okay.
First, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I hate to do this.
Yeah.
But no, the recording wasn't on. It's on now. So here's the short story. Bob was late, and it has to do with his bathroom, and he heard gurgling. So they found water in one of the bathrooms, one of the 17 bathrooms. So he called his plumber. His name was?
It was Ray Moss.
Okay,
yeah.
good.
No,
All right.
no Moss goes on him.
Now you can continue.
Yeah. It's exactly. So Ray is so great. He gets right back to me. And I have... I am told that he doesn't have to come over to look at anything. That the
wait, you can fix plumbing problems remotely now? What's he do? Dial in? You must have an internet connection.
Yeah,
right?
Sure. Yeah. I took my laptop and I brought it in and I showed him the gurgling. Look. Okay, so he says, "Oh, this isn't good."
That's not a good sound to hear from a plumber.
No, that's not. That's not. He said, "You have a steel trap." No, he has a trap problem, a trapped something problem. I can't remember what it was. It was something. So he said, and I could fix it, but it's going to cost you a bundle. But you can call the city because it has something to do with your connection from the pipes
out to the
sewer. And so he said, if you get them right away, I know they close at 4:00. Just luckily, it was 5 of 4. I said, bye, Ray. Thank you so much. Called Westfield DPW. This lovely woman said, I'll take the information and I'll call you. And she called me right back and she said, they're on their way. I said,
clearly you didn't tell them who you were.
Oh, I did tell. Oh, no. Oh, clearly. I got it. Oh, no. Yeah. They're scoping on 9 West Silver Street. So they sent off the all of a sudden, there is this crew, a 3-man crew with a policeman, and this is like right before I'm going to the WOW meeting last night, and it's traffic, nothing like this. It's now,
it's coming up on rush hour.
For
whatever rush hour.
Yeah.
Is in
So
Westfield.
So there's lineups outside of my house, and I'm out there talking to the men who indeed tell me that there are rocks in my head and rocks in the sewer and whatever, and perhaps that big oak tree outside has extended.
Breached the sewer line.
Yeah, it breached the sewer line or whatever.
Interesting.
Yeah. So the story gets better. Wait a
minute. Is it on your side of the shutoff or the city side of the shutoff?
Well, that was the problem, to decide whether whose job is it anyway.
Right.
And he's looking at me and I'm saying, yeah, well, if it's not your job, then whose job is it? He said, it's your job. And I said, I'm not going down there.
I don't think they meant you had to go, but, you got to, in other words, somebody's got to pay the bill, and it's either you or the city. And if it's the city side of the shutoff, well, then you're off the hook.
Sure. Well, we don't know. So he was confused as to whether it was ours or theirs, but so I left for the meeting. But
so did you find out?
Well, yeah, I got home, and as it turns out, he's bringing another plumber at 8:00 this morning to the house, or a master plumber, a real master plumber from the city to check it out. They put lime in the toilet to see whether it worked.
Lime in the coconut?
Lime in the coconut.
That was a 70s song.
Lime in the coconut.
I'm going to play that.
Really. Lime in the coconut, and then there's something else. It goes lime in the coconut. What's the tagline?
We put the lime in the coconut and drink it all down.
Oh, yes. Okay.
So you're going to put the lime in the toilet?
And we did do the lime in the toilet, and apparently he said, well, it's a good sign, it flushes, but it still is. And so
It flushes slow.
So, yeah. Oh, my God, does it flush slow? And it flushes. Yeah, have you ever had that experience when you're there?
When the water comes up?
Oh, my God. And you're going, oh, please, God, don't. Oh, please.
No, it's when you're at a neighbor's house.
Oh, my God.
And the water goes the wrong way.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
It's been a long time since I've been to church, but please, God, no.
Oh, no, yes. Oh, yeah. I was working on the steamship, the paddle wheeler that goes out of
the steamship Lollipop.
Yeah. It was called the Andrew Fletcher, and it goes out of Pier 17, I think, or something in
I'm going
South
to know
Street
where Pier 17 is.
South,
right?
Yeah, South Street Seaport in New York City, and it has a paddle wheel that goes around the city and goes out to the thing. So I was a waiter on that, and we used to take these cruises out all the time, and the boat needed repair for sure, because once on a cruise, I think it might have been an Irish cruise, and a woman comes screaming out of the bathroom that
it's a head, Bob. When you're on a boat, it's not a bathroom. It's a head.
Oh, it's a head. Okay. Yeah. So the woman comes screaming out of the bathroom, and we're going, what the heck is it? And she's followed by all of this stuff from the bathroom, following her out. Boy, did that end that party! Oh my God, did that end that party? And thank God I wasn't. As the waiter, I just had to work on the tables. But at any rate. All right.
No one was eating after that anyway. Okay.
No. So here's the rub. They're bringing back expert plumbing men today to look at this at 8 o'clock. And he told us, do not use the toilet if you can. Do not use the bathroom.
That's why you're late.
Well,
you stopped at Dunkin' Donuts.
No, I should have thought of that.
Well, you had to go there anyway.
Yeah. You know what? I said, James, we can't use the bathroom now for a senior who
all 17.
All 17.
Oh my!
Yeah, all 17 bathrooms. No, the 3 bathrooms that he said we could. We were taking a chance. I wasn't about to take a chance, knowing my luck. And we were watching a great series I'll talk about probably today. And so we're watching the series.
Big Brother.
Yeah. No, oh God, I did watch that, but the rerun of that. James goes in during the movie and uses it. I said, you're not supposed to use it. He said, I didn't flush it. I said, that's even worse. It's even worse. So, okay, my problem is, as folks know, I, like a lot of people, I get up during the night several times. All right. So now I have to figure out.
There's a pill for that.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Well, I take enough pills. I should talk to the doctor about that. So at any rate, I decided that, yes, I was going to use the outdoor facility. Now, we don't have an outhouse, but we do have trees in the backyard.
You have a bush.
We have bushes, and so I went under the 2 apple trees in the backyard, which this was early.
You know, mosquitoes are out that time of day, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Well, at 1 o'clock and at 3 o'clock, I knew that. So I'm out there, but I had to make the choice. Do I walk and then come back in? And I didn't have my slippers, and I didn't want to take the time to put the shoes on. And so I walked in my bare feet, but I didn't realize that, at night the dew comes down and then it's wet, and it's awful. So then I decided that I would use my backyard, what do you call we have this big seating area in my deck, okay? And I would be like a fountain peeing off the deck. And so I am peeing off the deck. That happened probably around 5 this morning. And I used it this afternoon. I went under the trees just before I left. That's the reason why I'm late. That's a long story to get to that one big thing.
What amazes me is it's already late for the break, and you filled the whole first segment. Mm-hmm. And for what it's worth, I didn't have the Frank Sinatra song you wanted, so I have another Frank Sinatra song, one that I happen to like. I hope that's okay.
So you're not going to play "Pick Yourself Up"? dust yourself off and start all over again, that's perfectly all right. But that's an appropriate song,
But that's okay.
Nothing's impossible. I have found. For when my chin is on the ground, I pick myself up.
I have something else. I have something else that I think would be appropriate.
Oh, I can't wait.
And it's just like, okay, what do we do here? Let's just.
Oh, great. Okay. So Jay is going to play a mystery Frank Sinatra song. There's nothing like his voice to wake you up in the morning. There's something really fresh about his voice. It's just so refreshing. I don't know what Tony Bennett's voice in the morning is still wonderful. It's my favorite voice. But Frank Sinatra in the morning, you need Frank Sinatra to wake you up every morning.
This is where you wish you were going.
Fly me to the moon, let me play among the stars, and let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, baby, kiss me. Fill my heart with song and let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other words, I love you. Song, let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other words,
We thank the generosity of our underwriters. For more information, please contact the Westfield State Foundation at 413-572-8646.
He rules the roost on Thursday from 6 till 10. It's Patrick Berry.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB. Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.
Wow.
From plumbing problems to anything else, please.
Oh, yeah. Oh, please, God. Guess. Yeah. Hey, so I had a great weekend. The ghost hunters were in town this weekend.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they were actually doing a little research on your humble abode.
Well, yeah.
How old is that house?
Well, the sign says when we buy...
No, wait. If there's a sign on it, doesn't it have to be that old?
Why, I always thought so.
Yeah.
1760. I don't think the sign's still on it. We took it off when we painted the house. But there was a sign on it when we got it that said CA, which means about, okay? About 1760. Circa.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the abbreviation for circa. Around 1760. And
wait a minute.
Yeah. Wait a minute. I'm Jay. I got my glasses stuck in my. Here, just talk. Wait a minute. 1 second here. Okay.
I'm just trying to think. I'm trying to think how circa means around. It's just. It doesn't sound like around. It's not short for around. It's just circa.
Circa is the Latin word for around. Like circumference comes. That's where that circumference comes from.
Around.
Around the table.
Around a circle.
Yeah,
If you measure all the way around that circle, that's
how
the
about
circumference.
Circulate. The air goes all around.
You're starting to make it up now.
No, circuitous.
Around.
Around. Got it?
Around.
All right. So circa 1760.
That's the English teacher in you coming out. That's what
I know.
is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I was forced to have Latin until I was a sophomore in college, believe it or not.
I couldn't figure out French, never mind Latin.
Oh, my
so
God. Yeah, and, they said, well, this is a language that's never spoken.
So why do I need to learn it?
Yeah, and I said that. Why do I need to learn it? But Jay, for some reason, it has come in handy. I would have not been able to explain to you where circa was from unless I had had all those years of Latin for what?
I'm sure both our listeners are very pleased that you knew that.
Dominus vobiscum, et cum spiritu. That's Latin for don't let the door shut in your face.
What's Latin for who cares?
Yeah. Okay, that would be qui. What was it? Who cares?
Who cares?
Well, probably it's it has SEC in it, secundare or something.
Is Latin one of those languages where it's backwards? We say "who cares," but theirs would be
put the
cares. Nobody does.
Yeah, the verb is at the end of the sentence, so you don't. So all of the words come first, and then the verb. So no wonder it's not a spoken language because.
There's a lot of languages like that
have the verb at the end of the sentence.
Well, I don't know about the verb, but things they do at the end. Spanish puts the question mark at the front. Well, actually, that one makes sense. They put the question mark upside down at the front of sentence, so you know it's a question before you even start asking.
It's very, very. Very
otherwise, in English, you get to the end of the sentence and go, "Oh, that was supposed to be a question," and you got to start again.
Oh, you're right. Oh my God! Because you then have to make sure that your voice goes up. Oh, God.
English is a tough language. I'm glad it's the one I learned first.
Yeah.
I haven't learned any others.
Oh my God. Well, Dominus vobiscum to you.
Yeah, all right.
That means God be with you and with the Spirit. Et cum spiritu. Now here, let me do this is very impressive. I'll do the beginning of the Aeneid by Virgil. Okay. Arma verum
sorry, folks.
Yeah, arma verum, and this is spoken in not church language, but in the other vernacular. Oh no, it's church language rather. Arma verum quae cano, Troiae qui primus ab oris Italiam, fado perfugus Laviniaque venit. I sing of arms and the man. And that's Virgil's Latin. Isn't that impressive that I remember that from my high school days?
It is, actually.
Yeah, that's all I know. That's all I know. Amos, amo, amare, or something. So where were we? We were at my house at 1760. Yes.
A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
We were at the house.
You were really there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 1760. So, but I think that it was more like 1780 when the house was built. It was built by Aaron Phelps for his bride, Mary Noble, of the Noble family, Noble Hospital.
Well, yes, of course.
Yeah.
Nobles have been around this area for quite a while.
Yeah, so right, they're one of our founding members. So it was built by that, and so it has a certain historical cachet to it. And then it was transferred to Cornelius Hedges. Maybe 10 years later or so. And Cornelius was a farmer, and it's known as the Hedges House. And the Hedges House.
You're such a hedge.
Yeah, and their last name is Hedges. It's not the hedges that we have outside. We have, the hedges. You go by and you see all the hedges. But no, it's the Hedges is the name. Now, Hedges, one of the people who was a Hedges, okay, is one of the founders of Yosemite Park and the park
That I
system.
didn't know. That's
very
interesting.
really cool. So at any rate, so that's the our house has been around for a long while. It has a dirt basement. Oh my God! That's where they're going to dig to find the hole. Now that I think about it, the plumbing.
How are they going to get the backhoe down
plumbing,
there?
The plumbing. Oh,
Did you, when Mike Mulligan and his steam shovel built the house, did they leave the steam shovel down there? That would be a help.
well, we were down there with the ghost hunters, and apparently, yeah.
All right, let's go back to that.
Yeah.
That's how the whole story started,
that's
right? The
right.
ghost
That's right.
ghost hunters.
That's
They were
right.
there this weekend. Now they're actually going to do a presentation on that visit, right?
They are going to do a presentation on that visit, and they're visiting 3 other sites. They have visited 2 of those sites already. There are 2 more that they're going to be making 2 or 3 visits to. The sites are really interesting. They are our house, right across from the post office, and then there is the train station. Where Mike Tierney has his insurance, right up there on.
That's a cool building.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Been there for forever,
yeah,
right?
and I'm a huge fan of trains and train travel, the history of trains anyway. And the old mechanical engineer in me just loves the steam locomotive, everything that's part of that makes it work. It's just, to me, still an amazing.
Yeah.
For its time, it was an amazingly strong machine.
Oh my gosh! And if you go down into the cellar of that building, it's really very well kept up. And Mike has a I hope that sooner or later a restaurant goes into that bottom half, or what? Maybe now that the rail trail outside is going to be opened up soon. Did they do the grand opening yet?
Not yet. The bridge is open, which is cool. I saw that for the first time the other day. I had to stop there in the area, and I pulled in and took my first walk across the old rail bridge.
Oh, I got it too. Is
it's
it cool?
It was just being over the river and seeing the city from there is just kind of a cool thing.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. They're going to the ghost hunters. They're going there. They've been to the Westfield Women's Club, I think 2 or 3 times already, and that is a very important building in the style. The architect of that building built the Westfield Athenaeum, but it is the second women's club in America, apparently, or something.
Is it the same architect that built that building in New York City that was on Ghostbusters?
Oh, I wonder, Stanford White or somebody? I don't know. No. I wonder. I don't. Oh, what do you? Well, that. Oh, for God's sakes! Now you bring me back to Ghostbusters.
My favorite line in Ghostbusters is when the place is really way weird, and the Ghostbusters go upstairs and they find the staircase going up into, where's that staircase go? Where do those stairs go? And he goes, they go up.
They go up. I was in Ghostbusters, but I was in Ghostbusters 2. I told you this story before. Yeah,
Did you? Were you one of the slimes?
I was one of the people looking at the Pillsbury Doughboy with their hands over their faces, going awful. I don't know if I'm even in the movie.
Oh, you're all of those people with their hands over their faces, yeah, aren't you?
The ones they see them on the street. We had to look up on the street, and we were stationed, and we all had to look like horrified. I've never seen the movie, so
but
I don't
always look horrified. How did we know it was you acting?
Yes. Oh my God! And now I'm going to look even more horrified. Now, once with the eye lift, I'm going to look. Where were we? We were back.
Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters.
No, Ghost Hunters.
Ghost Hunters.
Okay. So where are they going to do the presentation? They've visited many buildings in town.
They're going to do it right at the Westfield Women's Club at Pumpkin Fest. There's going to there's going to be a matinee in the afternoon. And then at night, after Pumpkin Fest on October 13th goes on.
Saturday.
Yeah, it goes on from noon until 6 o'clock.
Sundown.
Sundown, 6 o'clock at night or so. And then folks can go over to the Women's Club and have cocktails and then a harvest dinner. And then they're going to do the presentation at 8:30. But there's public tickets available if you don't want to eat.
How do we find tickets for that?
Good question. It's a 350th anniversary committee
It's a benefit. Oh, okay. In that case, go out to the Westfield350.org website, and you should be able to find tickets and the event listed
it's
there.
It's the Haunted Westfield presentation.
Is that going to, the matinee, is that going to be family friendly?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Oh, man. Oh, yeah. The what they're finding, I asked them the other night, 12 people come into your house. Actually, there were only 8 for Saturday. The first time there was 12. But
good thing you have 17 bathrooms.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I know. Well, maybe now that I think about it, maybe my influx of people, ghosts, you know what it's like when you see a ghost? People had to run to the bathroom. Yeah.
Hey, I have that Buffalo Springfield song.
Oh, okay. So, at any rate, Jay, I wanted you to know that the other building that is being the Agawam Paranormal went to is the Hotel Bancroft, which is Pilgrim Candle as well.
Just north of the bridges.
Yeah,
yes.
which has some incredible activity.
Again, another building with wonderful long history here in town. Yeah.
So it's really going to be an exciting day for not only families who come to Pumpkin Fest, but for ghost hunters. And they're going to, at the nighttime show, they're going to raffle off the opportunity to go right after the show with them to do a little ghost hunting, once again, in the Women's Club. So folks on that day will actually be able to go with the ghost hunters with all of their equipment. They have all this wild equipment. And was there activity in my house? Yes, there was. Will they?
It wasn't just James.
No, it wasn't just James. And this is the second time. This time, the ghosts were a little bit friendly, or all they wanted to do was laugh. Interesting.
What was that? There was a cartoon on Saturday morning. Are they friendly ghosts?
Oh, it was Casper, the friendly ghost.
No, that was Casper, the friendly ghost. No, it was a one-liner that was repeated over and over in a routine. I know, it was Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Are they friendly ghosts?
Yeah, I got to find that. Okay.
Hey, so I'm. You know how I love to watch documentaries on either Amazon or Netflix or one of those other stations.
I didn't know that.
No. Oh, yes. And you know, I am. And I usually watch documentaries.
You have
about
Netflix?
Yes, I do.
Good. We got to talk about that off air.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll tell you something. There's this great documentary about Graham Nash. No, wait, now help me here.
Crosby, Stills, Nash, and sometimes Young.
And sometimes Young. And it's called 40 Under 50. 40 Under 50. Now, I don't know whether that refers to their hits, 40 hits before they reach 50 years old, or I don't know. But at any rate, I'm still watching the thing because, you know, they're like 2 hours long, and I only watch a half hour at a time so I can bring the information that I've learned here to them. Now, did you know that the L.A. scene was really popular? In the 1960s, there was an L.A. music scene, and it was the Sunset Strip. And for what it's worth, I thought always referred to the Vietnam War because it came out in like 1967 or so.
Well, the war was at that time. There were a lot of songs about the war that referred to the war, some protesting it, many protesting it.
Right.
I mean, that was really a big movement in its time, you know, Why Are We There, and yes. On and on and on.
Sure.
You know, for what it's worth, it wasn't fair to the men and women coming back.
Right. But guess what? Stephen Stills, is that right? Wrote that song. And Stephen...
I'm not sure.
No, wait a minute. Crosby wrote the song.
Which one? Oh, the Buffalo Springfield song.
Yeah, because he was a member of Buffalo Springfield.
At the time.
Yes.
Yeah, that was David Crosby back in the day.
So,
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Where's our fact checkers out there?
I remember this now from the documentary. He was alone. They were all alpha personalities, Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young. So the interesting thing is, how do they fit together to make a good group? Well, I had no idea that they were all in other groups before, and that I knew. So we had David Crosby in Buffalo Springfield, and then we had Stephen Stills and Graham Nash in what's the name of that group? The Byrds, of all things. Okay, so Crosby writes this song about Sunset Strip had riots. There were riots at the Sunset Strip. And the Sunset Strip was where there were all these clubs where folks were doing great music, like the Mamas and the Papas and the Birds and all those sort of things. So he writes For What It's Worth about that. And it's not about the Vietnam War. It became about the Vietnam War.
But it was about what was happening right there.
The
at
guns
that time.
on the street in whatever. So, and it's always been one of my favorite songs.
So think about that, and fast forward to today. Think about our cities today. The same problems are still there.
It's amazing, and how this song still resonates. And so let's hear For What It's Worth. It's 6:39 and a very hot day in Westfield. You're listening to Westfield on Weekends. Wow, it's Tuesday with Jay and Bob.
There's something happening here, but what it is ain't exactly clear. There's a man with a gun over there, telling me I got to beware. I think it's time we stop. Children, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. There's battle lines being drawn. Nobody's right if everybody's wrong. Young people speaking their minds are getting so much resistance from behind. Time we stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. What a field day for the heat. 1,000 people in the street, singing songs and carrying signs. Mostly say hooray for our side. It's time we stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Paranoia strikes deep into your life, it will creep. It starts when you're always afraid. Step out of line, the man come and take you away. We better stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going. We better stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going. We better stop now. What's that sound? Everybody look what's going. We better stop. Children, what's that sound?
We thank the generosity of our underwriters. For more information, please contact the Westfield State Foundation at 413-572-8646.
Wednesday mornings from 6 till 8, it's Tina Gorman with Wake Up Wednesday.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB. Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM WSKB Westfield.
Wow, it is Tuesday morning. Westfield on Weekends time here. Hey,
Is that like, it's howdy doody time?
Yeah.
Say, kids, what time is it?
yeah, oh my God, you bring me back.
Yeah.
6:43
It's wow
in the morning.
time.
Wow, it is wow time because it's a good time to be in Westfield. It's a great time to be in
There
Westfield.
is music everywhere you look this summer. I've said this for the past 3 summers. Westfield has become a city where there's always something going on if you want to find music, whether it's some of the clubs.
It's funny you say that because I was, I think last year, I was trying to think of how to promote Westfield, and one of the, Tanglewood or the Berkshires have this slogan, the music summer home. is at Tanglewood or whatever.
Well,
in
the music,
Berkshire.
the summer home of the Boston Symphony,
right, but
is
it's
Tanglewood.
Music Summer Home. We are music's second home here in Western Massachusetts.
Okay, we've got to come up. Maybe that's a branding we can work on for next year. But so many organizations do things. The Amelia Park, the skating rink does the Tuesday evenings there.
Yep.
Also on Tuesday is open mic on the Green.
Yes.
If you get to Friday, what else is happening? Okay, during the week.
Yeah.
But Fridays is the local
Downtown
Live next to Mina's Wine and Spirits.
Yeah. The Artworks group. Yeah,
and they have art walks now that are happening.
That's
the
third Thursday.
Third something.
So third Thursday or third. What is it? Third.
The third something. Go to the Artworks website and find out.
Third Friday.
I don't want to. Yeah.
The third Friday.
But that's becoming a lot of fun. Then on Sundays is Stanley Park. There's every Sunday there's something down at Stanley Park, and we're trying to make a lot of other regular events here that surround music and the arts. So watch for that coming up. In fact, a week from Thursday on the 16th is going to be Western Mass All-Star Big Jazz Band right down on the Green.
That's right.
A free concert. And that's going to be featuring Wanda Houston, who you talked about the Berkshires. She is a vocalist from the Berkshires. Amazing voice.
Oh, my God.
You're going to love this.
Yeah, Wanda Houston and a 17-piece orchestra.
Yeah.
Now, when have you heard a 17-piece orchestra on the Green? Usually we have 7 or 8.
I would say we have never had a 17-piece orchestra on the Green. So this is like big band. This is a flashback to the 40s and not just 40s music. So don't think that that's all you're going to hear. Yeah. But that's the style, and it's if you love this stuff, it's just going to be cool.
And Ed Orgill, a great board member for Westfield on Weekends, who is also a professor of music. I think he's the director of jazz studies, believe it or not, at Westfield State University, and he is a great jazz historian as well as a musician. He works with us to produce all kinds of musical events. He has. He plays with all of these incredible musicians. Jeff Holmes from UMass. He's got all these great musicians. They all meet and they all play together. Some of them appear in the Amherst Jazz Orchestra. Hartford, they play down in Hartford. So he's gotten them all together to become what we're going to call the Whip City Big Band.
Yeah, and Northampton. He's got a regular gig up in Northampton.
Yeah.
Speaking of train stations, at the old train station up there.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so Westfield will have its own big band that is assembled because most of those itinerant jazz professionals. My brother is in one of those big groups that goes all over the place. But they not only play with this group, they play with that group. They play all over the place. Yeah.
We like to bring you music that you don't hear everywhere else. You can't just go out and hear. And that's one of the reasons we wanted to bring. When Ed approached us with this idea, I go, this is so unique that that how can you say no? So we really wanted to. We were excited about bringing this.
And I know what they're doing. They're doing a tribute to one of my favorite singers. We're not playing her today. And so, maybe we can find her out there. Ella Fitzgerald. She was one of the big bands. She appeared with Chick Webb and his orchestra years ago. That's where she was, and she was able to really do some great stuff. But and so now tell us, we got to give the specifics about Thursday. Well, the Thursday. So
a week from Thursday on the Green. It's a free concert, August 16th.
16th.
Yep. Show starts at 7:00. Don't be late. Thanks to Westfield Gas and Electric for being our premier sponsor. Without them, a lot of what we do here in Westfield couldn't happen.
Whip City Fiber.
As we say, Whip City Fiber awesome internet brought to you by Westfield Gas and Electric.
That they're actually coming today to put Whip City Fiber into my house. How do you like? Along with the plumbers. We're going to have the plumbers, and we're going to have, and I'm going off to the dentist.
As I said before, it's a good thing you have 17 bathrooms. We have the Birds and Mr. Tambourine.
So
tell a story about that, and we'll get into the break.
So we handled the Crosby. Okay, so Crosby is in a group. David Crosby's in a group called Buffalo Springfield. So Buffalo Springfield is very popular. It's on the Sunset Strip. And then we have the Birds. And the Birds is in L.A. Okay, one is in San Francisco, one's in L.A. And the difference
There's
between...
only two Birds?
No. Yeah, types of music. There's the L.A. scene and there's the Sunset Strip scene, which... No, Sunset Strip is in L.A. as well, isn't it? Isn't it
77 Sunset Strip.
Yes, yeah. Okay.
Weren't you there?
Yeah. So the Birds has a certain distinctive hippie feel to it, and they do one of Bob Dylan's early songs, Mr. Tambourine Band. And guess who's appearing there is Stephen Stills and Neil Young. Stephen Stills and Neil Young. Stephen will have problems with the group. They're alpha men, and Neil Young will have problems with the group, and they'll leave this group and go off on their own. And later on, they will become Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young. But I haven't got to that part in the documentary I'm watching, which is called 40 Under 50, which is on Netflix. Mr. Tambourine Man. Hey, Mr. Tambourine Man, the Birds.
Strip, and my hands can't feel to grip, and my toes too numb to step. Wait only for my boot heels to be wandering. I'm ready to go anywhere. I'm ready for to fade onto my own parade. Cast your dancing spell my way. I promise to go under it. Hey, Mr. Tambourine Man, play a song for me. I'm not sleepy and there ain't no place I'm going to. Hey, Mr. Tambourine Man, play a song for me. In the jingle jangle morning, I'll come following you.
We thank the generosity of our underwriters. For more information, please contact the Westfield State Foundation at 413-572-8646. Wednesday mornings start off right from 6 to 8 a.m. with Tina Gorman and Wake Up Wednesday.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Wow, it is Tuesday.
Live from the campus of
tell 'em
Westfield
again in a
State
minute.
University.
Oh, yeah.
This
Listen
is
to this.
89.5
That's Peter
FM,
Coles, who's not here.
WSKB Westfield.
That's all we really needed to hear was the WSKB Westfield. And actually, you could have said WSKB Westfield, or I could have said WSKB. This is WSKB Westfield.
Right. FAA. Is it the FAA? FCC. Oh.
FAA is the airplane guys.
Oh, man. Okay. Oh, don't get me started about that.
Can you tell Bob doesn't usually get up till noon?
This is sort of free-form radio. I was saying to Jay.
Sort of.
When we start, it is like Regis and Kathy Lee, or Kelly and Ryan, or any of those talk shows where I know where we're going in a sort of way, and I write up the list of everything that we have here.
You see this, and we have a guest we'll introduce in a minute, but the short version here is he hands us, basically it's an outline, minute by minute. Look, at 2:33 after 6 o'clock, we're going to be talking about, by 4 minutes and 17 seconds after that, we've already lost everything.
Well, I do it in the afternoon or maybe and the weekend before, so I never know that the my sewage system is going to have not my body sewage system. That's another story. But my house sewage system.
So we have a guest here in studio who's lost their appetite now. So Bob, who do we have here?
Oh
this
my
morning?
God! Well, I always thought you pronounced this Gentile, and this is Megan Gentili. But you call it Gentile, and it's not French.
It's been Americanized.
No.
Yes.
So
Megan Gentile.
Yes.
Yes. And Megan Gentile is from Technique, and she is the owner and the founder of Technique. And what's interesting is Technique offers support to people who don't know what.
Technology.
Oh, you're looking at me. I'm not Jay knows technology well, but I don't know technology. So you've come to the right studio, ma'am.
I'm good.
you're gonna have all the right questions then, Bob.
Well,
See, you're the type of person that walks down the sidewalk, and Megan looks and says, "You need help."
Oh my God!
With more than just computers, but okay, yeah.
Really? Could you do a facelift and maybe a clothing revamp?
Let's get back to technology, Bob.
Technology. So, hey, so the interesting thing to our listeners for me, and one of the things that when Tom Sharp, your uncle, came to me and said, I'd like you to talk to Megan Gentile, who is my niece. She's a really interesting bird because she is a young 21-year-old. You're 21.
Yes.
You're a senior at Westfield State University in computer science. Is that what the name of the department is?
Technically, it's computer information systems.
Computer information systems.
Yes.
And you have a minor in business management.
Yes.
And so you have put your learning to work, and you founded a company at 21 years old called Technique Support.
Yes. It's been a great learning experience for me. And I already had a great foundation from Westfield State to put it into effect. And I'm actually using my 2B degree, which is amazing because most people can't say that.
No, before they even graduate.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
how did you decide to turn it into a business? It's good to have a nice little hobby and maybe go out and work for the big corporate world, but how did you decide to do the business?
Well, I worked at a former company, and I won't divulge the name, but they were great, and they worked with businesses, and I like more one-on-one relationships and finding those relationships that I can carry out and learn how their systems work and just really, I guess, small scale. So I decided to do residential, and I've been doing this, I'm sure my uncle has told you, for years now.
Years? I didn't hear. I thought, she's been doing it since she's 15 years old, probably. How long? How many years have you been doing it?
Not as a business, but just on the side, probably since 15. We got a family computer when I was in kindergarten, so age 5. And
see, I told you, as 5-year-old, she's an expert already.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So that was, just a Dell box computer and has a tower next to it. We still have it in the basement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be in the file. It's going to be in the glass cabinet on the wall. My first computer. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So you get that. So, yeah, at 5 years old.
Yeah, and I just started tinkering with the software and, helping a lot with my family. I'm more of a trial and error type person, so I like kind of failing and then figuring out why I failed at something and figuring out how to do it correctly.
Which is the way of learning, isn't it?
Yes.
I mean, I always say
I can't sit and read a book and learn. I've got to see smoke come out of it first to realize that, oh wow, I got to do that different.
Yeah. Whereas what happens with me is I go, James, come here.
You call Megan.
Where do we get help? How do I get help? I don't know. I've been having trouble with my printer at home. I think there are too many cookies on my machine. I don't even know
chocolate
what the
chip or oatmeal.
Well, I'm telling you, I've had more problems with my machine, and I don't even call it a computer. I call it a machine. That's how old I am. I always refer to it as the machine.
You know, the only moving part is the fan that's in there, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, yeah.
Well, the hard drive,
the hard
maybe.
drive,
All right. Yeah.
So at 5 years old, you begin to get an affinity to this kind of thing, and then you
Right.
just continue your knowledge?
Yeah. I mean, there is a span where, of course, in school we don't learn computers, and I think that's a big downfall of elementary schools. I've heard that in Connecticut schools are learning physics in like first grade and just the basics, and I think that's amazing. I took physics in high school and I loved it, and I didn't do too well in the beginning, but I learned and I ended up doing fairly well in the whole course. So
you mentioned software kind of caught your, you love the software piece. Same thing with hardware, or are you really focusing on the software side?
I'm really focusing on the software side. I'm trying to learn more about hardware as I go on. Software is just my love.
So for us seniors out there, at 7 o'clock here in Westfield, it's 7 o'clock, believe it or not. So, Megan, what's the difference between software and hardware? Now, wait a minute. I'll see if I can come up with this.
Okay.
Hardware would be the machine.
Yes.
Software would be what's in the machine? The little people that are doing all of that? What's the difference? I don't know.
Ghosts in the machine.
Yeah, more or less. So software are the applications that you see displayed on your screen. So Microsoft Word, Pages for Mac, Malwarebytes, LastPass, any type of those that you can download, Google Chrome, that would be software.
And so your emphasis is on the software.
Yes.
Which is basically what folks like me are doing. We're trying to find the information through these applications or whatever.
Yes.
And then we run into trouble, and then something comes up on my screen and tells me, oh, you're in trouble. And then when I try to print, it doesn't print, and then I'm going haywire.
Right.
So you, at 5 years old, begin to do this, and then 15, you go to high school, and then you come to Westfield State.
Yes.
And what happens then?
I declare my major in CIS, which CIS is more the business side of
Computer
computers.
Information System.
Yeah. So there's engineering, science, and information systems. So IS or CIS is more finding applications that work for businesses. It's more the business mind for databases and servers, networking, big networking, not just one router, one modem.
Right.
So I really honed in on, I didn't really want to do programming for the rest of my life, but I wanted a little bit here and there of programming, which is what we get with CIS. And I love programming, but I like helping people more on one-on-one.
So you have 3 tracks at the school, and so you took what's the name of the track again?
CIS.
So Computer Information Systems. The other ones would have taught you what?
Computer science is more programming, so developing the software. And
all those little numbers and stuff and letters that you have to put in order to come up with it. Oh, go forget that one. Yeah, no. And then what's the other one?
Computer engineering, which actually isn't a track right now. I'm hoping they get it in.
Yes,
and they're actually, I don't know if I'm at liberty to say this.
Well, you go ahead and say it. I'll take the hit.
They're developing a cybersecurity track, or at least a concentration or some avenue, which I would love. I'm actually looking into the master's online only cybersecurity at Baypath. if I should do that. I'm going to work on certifications first, and then maybe in 2 years go back for a master's.
WSKB Westfield.
Wild. So, Megan Gentile from Technique.com. No, where do we find Technique? Or where are you located?
TechniqueSupport.com, and that is TECHNIQ support.com.
It's amazing. When I was typing that up, I thought, geez, this has got to have been taken before Megan was around. Because technique sounds like the word, it's a really great word.
Thank you.
Yeah. So did you have trouble naming?
I did.
Yeah.
Technique.com is already taken.
Yeah.
So that was my whole goal. But I figured support, that's what I'm doing. So Technique support, and it just kind of meshed. And now that's Facebook, Twitter, my website, email addresses.
Do you find a lot of people coming to you and searching you out now?
So far, a little bit word of mouth.
How long have you been doing?
April.
Just since April?
Yeah, just since April.
So you've gone through and you've started the business. You have a business number. You have a business account. Holy cow!
Yeah.
And she's nodding her head to everybody that's listening. So
it's been really exciting.
That's in itself is a chore. I've been looking into that for myself when I retire from the real job, because I want to start that. I'm going. That's not easy.
No.
There's a lot that it takes to make that happen.
Yeah.
And you're as a business major, then what you're learning about planning or what do they call that? A business plan.
A business plan.
Plan.
Right.
You developed a business plan for yourself?
I actually haven't. I'm kind of entering things, just researching, doing it, and seeing it where it takes off.
Well, you don't have a lot of overhead, so it's not like you have to go out and invest $50,000 in something.
Exactly.
No, I take that back. She has been investing in school, so it's all in your head, right? And that's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
I haven't developed it on paper yet, but, I have accounting software, I have a website, I have a domain, which is the website
An
name.
incredible business.
So,
Yeah. And you do it from your home.
I do. Yes.
And it's a farm in Southampton.
It's not a farm, but I do live on Hamden Ponds.
Oh my
fish
word!
Fish farm, yeah.
Fish farm, Hamden Ponds, huh?
Yeah, right in my backyard.
And you have a lake in your backyard.
Yeah.
That's
down a little
the
hill.
front yard, isn't it? Isn't a lake house the front is the lakeside?
Oh, we're actually at the backside.
All right, I'm confused, so I won't even go there.
Yeah.
They're
The
all
backside
different
of
sides.
Hampton Ponds. Okay, yes. How great is this? So now, did you develop a room in your house, or did you say, hey, okay, I got one room. I'm in the bedroom. That's my room. I'm going to make this into TechniqueSupport.com, and then we're going to grow from here.
Yeah, it's my bedroom. But I have my desk set up where it's, going to be business and school when September comes.
Yes.
And, I have my laptop set up. I actually just moved around my room, so it's a little more productivity friendly. I put it next to the window instead of the wall, so I can, have a free
view.
mind.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, and you're right. Looking outside at things that are happening around you, it just can stimulate the mind to think better. What year are you in here?
I am a senior. I have one more semester.
Oh.
And then I'm walking in May and finishing in December. So
excellent. Yeah.
Whoa, it's
wonderful. That sounds wonderful.
So exciting. Now, tell us, just before we take a break here, you are a senior. You have a family? You have a mother and a father and children, and I mean, like not children, but
yeah, not of mine.
Bob, don't rush her life.
All right,
I have a brother.
She's got
yes.
her business. Why can't she now get out there and get a husband or a wife or
Trust
a dog?
me, it'll get in the way of business. No.
No, I have a very loving boyfriend of 5 years in August. So we've been dating
Smart
since
man.
high school.
Yeah.
See, she's way ahead of things. She gets everything planned out in her life. Yeah.
I try.
Yeah.
Not to the T, but it happens.
Yeah, sure. So, okay, so you have brothers and sisters, or
one brother. He's 6 years older.
Six years older, and
Yep.
is he into the computer end of things, or is like you? Or I'm wondering where this all came from, because your parents probably were born when there were very few computers.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, my grandpa actually worked at Hamilton Standard in Connecticut on the first computers, really.
Oh, the mainframes. He worked mainframes.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So, and then my uncle has his own business for consulting out in Charlton. He lives. So it's kind of been in the family more or less.
It's like a dynasty.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. Now, do your parents need help?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, wait, Bob, that's not fair. Now, careful how you say that.
I need help sometimes too. Google has been a wonderful friend to me.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I need to learn in order to help other people, and I'm okay admitting what I don't know. I think that's the first step. And if I don't know how to fix something, I will tell you I don't know how to fix something and try and refer you to someone else who does.
So you know all of the roads. You help people to get a roadmap toward that knowledge.
Right. So
Yeah.
if I'm not that destination, then I'll try and help you find someone else.
So, we were just talking about this. I was talking to Lucille Nason, and Lucille and I are the people who were running or co-chairs for this event called Pumpkin Fest in Westfield, and we are trying to put stuff online in some way and trying to get a system and everything. And actually, Westfield on Weekends is doing the same kind of thing to sort of get our procedures and our policies and our forms and everything in one place so that we don't, there's transparency as well as communication between all avenues. And we were saying, God, I said, I can turn the machine on and I can turn it off and I can type, but I need so much. Where do I go to learn this kind of stuff? And please, I don't tell me that I have to go to a book, something Computers for Dummies or something, because I'm not a book. Like you buy a car and they give you that book and you never read it.
Same thing as we talked about earlier. Yeah. I'm not a theory guy. I can't read a book and learn something. I've got to put a screwdriver on it. I've got to get my hands in it. I've got to, and you're right. Megan said it. I've got to make a mistake to learn better how I can do this better. We joke about in the computer world, we joke about it's all filled with smoke, and that because if you let the smoke out, it doesn't work anymore.
Right.
So, and that's I always remember better when I've made a mistake somewhere.
Well, then how is an older person or a younger person, for that matter, anyone, to learn the big amount of information, the large amount of information that you need in order to sit at a computer and do the work without thinking? I mean, I watch people like yourself, and I go, where do they get that? They know how to go here and they know how to go there, and it takes me forever to figure out I got to press this button in order to get to that button. But where do I go for that kind of? What would you tell me?
I would suggest either coming to me or Google is a great avenue. So you have to be careful, of course, leading to bad websites and getting viruses or malware.
Oh, yes. Oh, my gosh, yes.
But aside from that, there are, how-to guides out there. WikiHow is actually a great avenue to go down. They have a whole boatload of information. And as far as coding goes, if you wanted to get down that avenue, is W3 Schools. That is, point by point by point how to do stuff.
Wiki.how.
Yep. Or wikihow.com.
Wikihow.com. WKI.how.com.
Yeah.
And what's this other one?
W3 Schools is for coding.
For coding.
Yeah.
Coding sounds like...
Coding is the root of software.
Oh.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, how you were talking about the root of words, Latin, going way back?
Right.
You'd be learning Latin all over again.
Oh.
Yeah, there's all different languages.
Oh,
so.
No. Please don't get me into that. No. Just get me to be able to turn the damn machine on, turn it off, and then do something in between that's actually worth something.
And don't let the smoke out.
Yeah. So, you could teach a class. I mean, like, we might even talk about this as a class where we could have folks come in and you could teach us all how to,
Yeah,
five people at a time. You do that kind of stuff?
I've been thinking of starting one after college because I can't really, well, I'm not going to say I can't, but with school I'm taking 6 classes, so it's going to be a little juggling. I also work at Heritage Books. It's a local bookstore in Southampton.
Oh,
so
my God. I
on
go
Route
by
10.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, Route 10. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm juggling all sorts of stuff, and so classes are on the back burner for right now.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to.
Well, let's
work that out.
let's figure out how we can make them on the front burner, because I better start soon. I'm 73 years old. I want the last 35 years of my life.
Oh, this is what we're talking
40
about.
years of my life.
You were talking about classes and learning. You're talking about you, Bob.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. If she could teach, we'll have one of those things. If I can be taught, anybody can learn this.
There's your poster child.
I've heard
right?
that a lot, actually.
Yeah. If I can be taught, I can learn about that. Hey,
Before we go to break,
Yeah.
tell us again, how can folks get a hold of you online or see what you do for business?
Yeah, so techniquesupport.com. It's TECHNIQ support.com. And then I also have a phone number, 703-TECHNIQUE or 703-832-4647.
Listen to that. She even found a phone number that matches the name of her business.
Nah, that was her cell phone.
That was really dumb luck, wasn't it? That you were able to find that technique was actually out there.
Yeah, so I use an app called Sideline on my iPhone, and it creates a second phone number on your own cell phone, so you can still keep personal and business separate, but have one device, so you're not, carrying 2 phones at one
There's
time.
more technology I didn't even know existed.
So-
and I'm in the business.
Oh my God! So you can use this app to find another number for yourself.
Yes.
And it will find that number for you.
Yeah.
And
So
what's the app?
Sideline.
Sideline.com.
It's a green and white application on the iOS App Store, and just has an S on it. It's a green S with white borders, I guess.
Unbelievable.
I gotta clear my head after all.
Yeah, really.
Let's jump into it. We talked about
What are you
Crosby
gonna play?
Stills. Well, we talked about Crosby, Stills, and Nash. So here's one of my favorite Crosby, Stills, and Nash songs.
One morning I woke up and I knew a new day, a new way, and new hours to go your way, I'll go mine, The sky is clearing and the night, the sun becomes the world's song. Rejoice, rejoice, we have no choice but to carry on. The fortunes of fables are able. Now witness the quickness with which we to sing the blues. You got to live the Carry on, love is coming.
thank the generosity of our underwriters. For more information, please contact the Westfield State Foundation at 413-572-8646.
It's Tuesday morning from 6 till 8. Wow, it's Tuesday with Bob Plass.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB. Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM WSKB Westfield.
Wow, it is Tuesday morning, and it's a hot Tuesday in Westfield. It's August, what date is it in August? August 7th and counting, yeah. You could find out that by looking at your computer. We are having a great discussion this morning. Jay Pagluka is here in for Pete Coles, and I am here learning something that I need to know from Megan Gentile. Yeah. And Megan Gentile is the owner of Technique Support out of Southampton, a graduate, soon-to-be graduate, rather, of Westfield State University, who kindly gives us the opportunity to be here every day of the week from 6 until 10 o'clock every morning. And we're on Channel 15 as well. You can also stream us. Did you know that, Megan?
I did. I've been telling everyone to listen.
WSKB.org. We also are on not YouTube. Yeah, we're on YouTube. And we might find another app from which to broadcast as well. I think we have a podcast as well, if I'm not mistaken.
I found you guys on TuneIn.
On TuneIn?
Yeah, TuneIn Radio. It's another app. Yeah.
So you've been doing your research on us.
Yes.
Yeah.
And my brother actually hosts a sports radio talk show Tuesdays 5 to 7 here. So.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, so do that again. We got to promote, co-promote things here on the station. What's your brother's name and the name of the show?
Joe Gentile, and it's it's 5 to 7 every Tuesday.
All about sports stuff.
Yes.
All about things. And is he on through the summer? Does he come and do it in the summertime?
He picked it up recently, so yeah, it should be on tonight.
Honest to God.
What year is he in here?
No, he's graduated.
Oh, he's graduated. So he just comes in and plays.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
So he got his master's at Bay Path, actually, in communications.
So. Interesting. Yeah. Megan Gentile, Technique Support. Now, when during the break, we were talking about where we would go next, and you go over to your bag and you pull out this lovely mauve. What is that? Mauve colored.
It's pink.
Yeah, it's rose gold.
Rose gold. Oh, rose gold.
It's like they name colors on computers like they name colors on cars. You know?
Yeah. Oh my God, this is the new thing. I watch it on QVC all the time. When they're selling computers, they're selling colors now.
Right.
More
we
than
don't care what's in it, but it looks pretty.
Care about
yeah.
But the problem for what I have is what to buy and how to keep it protected. Mm-hmm. And when to buy a new one and why to buy a new one, etc. So let's say folks are out there and they have, I bet there are folks out there that have these big television screens with hard drives, or maybe something that they bought 10 years ago and wonder where to go, how to buy, and whatever. Okay, I come to you. Megan, Technique Support. I need help.
Do I replace this old box that I have that weighs a ton?
Yes.
Yeah. And what do I replace it with? Should I get something that I can carry everywhere? Do I buy a machine that sits on my desk?
Can I do everything with a tablet that I could with a laptop?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm finding that you can. I have an iPad right here, and I take it everywhere.
Apple or PC?
Apple all the way for me.
Really?
Yes.
What if I'm stuck on PCs? That's what my business runs. That's what my company runs.
I'll take care of that too. I'm just much more well versed in Apple products. But I'll take care of Windows, no problem.
Is that because your first PC was an Apple?
No, actually, it was a Dell.
It was. That's what you mentioned. You said it was
Windows
a Dell.
XP.
When did you make the transition to the dark side? Just kidding.
The light side, I like to think about it. So we had in Hampshire Regional, where I went to high school, in West Hampton, they had a laptop program where you could buy a Mac, and it came with all the software that students would need. And I got it actually, so the high school was 7 to 12, so middle school and high school.
Right.
And my brother was actually in senior year and I was in 6th grade, but they allowed me, because he was getting one, for me to get one too, even entering.
They're selling computers, but the school system is selling computers to the school, to the students?
Yeah. I don't know if it's still active right now. That was
Every school system's a little different. Depends on the grant they got this year or whatever. Yeah.
Right.
Gotcha. Yeah. So go ahead.
Yeah, so when I got my Mac, I was, thrilled with how it worked compared to Windows. And it's just, for me, I like simplistic things, which some people, they want the complexity of a Windows where there's 10 different ways to do one thing. There's still maybe 3 or 4 ways on a Mac to do things.
So the difference between a Windows system and a Mac depends on what whether you want to be. Macs are designed for people to simply do their work.
Yeah.
Whereas Windows are designed to make it as complicated as people as can be, because we need to be able to go everywhere.
I'd rather think of it as I like options. I like different ways of doing things.
Right.
And that's my personal preference.
Yeah.
On the other hand, because in my real life job, I've worked in the graphics business, for 40 years. The first PCs or the first computer to do really well with graphics was an Apple or a Mac. And if you were in that business, you had to go Mac, because PC just didn't do it well. Whether it was still graphics or even video. When video first came out, the Mac did it much better.
Really?
Yeah.
But the average bear going in to buy a computer, what I'm looking at the price.
Right.
And I'm not even thinking about what kind of software, or is that what you call it? What kind of, whether it's a Mac or I have, what do I have at home? An Asus. ASUS, because it was the cheapest.
That would be
cheapest.
a PC, yeah.
It's
that'd
a
be
PC. And if you were with me in the store when I was buying this, what would you have said?
Run away, run far away. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, they're not bad computers. It's all in what you like and what can fit your budget. I just recommended a Chromebook to my boyfriend's dad, and he loves it. It was in his budget. It works well. The speed's okay. Now, for me, Chromebooks don't really do what I want, so I find something that fits my needs. With the price thing, I do know, obviously, Apple is high-end prices, and it's not always affordable for most people. But it's an investment, and it's not a purchase. So
explain that. You're an investment and not a purchase. That's a good way to think about things.
So you're a salesperson too.
No, actually,
but that's a salesperson's line. It's an investment.
Well, I mean, I have
just kidding.
kind of. I mean, I have to sell my business, I guess. In a way.
Yes, of course you do. But I like the idea. So explain this investment versus.
So it's kind of been my philosophy in the past year or so with me purchasing, even a desk. It's going to be maybe an investment more than a purchase. And with that, I mean that it's going to last a long time. It's going to be durable. It's not going to, Macs are nearly immune to viruses, but obviously they still can get them. There's still antivirus for Macs, just not as much as Windows. And
really?
Yeah, Windows are really prone to viruses and can get them easily because it's so widespread that people have Windows.
I was going to say that was the reason why Windows was the first platform to find viruses. Well, number one, it was easy to get into.
Right.
But number two, there were so many. So if I'm a bad guy and I want to mess with people, how fast can I mess with as many people as I can? Well, that's why, and that's why it proliferated.
Yeah.
And so Macs are safer security-wise.
Yeah.
You still got to be careful.
Yeah. By all means, still don't go to websites that have a ton of ads.
Careful where you browse.
Yeah, careful where you browse. First off, if you don't recognize the email address or if it's not, usually it's like no reply at Amazon or something, that's a typically good email. But if it's, X amount of characters at X amount of characters.com or .org or, at .china.com or something,
Yes. Oh my God, the word China, right?
Well,
the minute I see China, or I saw Russia would be another thing. Oh my
Or
God,
Russia.
they're trying to hack me as well.
Well, a lot of times I see Bank of America and then a whole lot of other letters,
Yeah.
which basically it's a spoof site. It's
Yes.
it looks familiar, wants you to click on it, but if all those other letters, usually it's somebody's about to hack your PCs.
Yeah.
Steer clear.
Yeah. So what they can do with those links in email, just for one example, it can look like, like you said, it's the website,
Yes.
but it's really not. So if you click on, click here to reset your password, they could be keystroking or keylogging your keystrokes on your computer to get your new password. That's like the extreme of things.
If you think that happened, and first of all, and I've been close to doing it, and then I back off. And go, no, I won't. And if they really don't want to talk to me, they can call me. But say you do put your password in, and then all of a sudden realize, oh, I shouldn't have.
Yes.
Well, they already know what you've typed without you hitting send.
Right.
How do you? What's the first thing you should do?
Change your password by going to the actual website.
The actual website.
Like, go to Google,
Say
type
you
in
gave your
Amazon.com.
password to, stick with Bank of America. Say you gave
Bank
your
of
password to
America.
Bank of America.
Yes.
Okay, go to Bank of America, the real site, and change it right now.
Yes. That would be the first step. I would contact, even if you can, the website and just say, if there's any fraudulent charges, if it is a credit card or, Amazon even has credit cards linked to it.
Yes.
Say, I just did this. I didn't mean to.
Yeah. Would
Just
you
be on the
recommend
lookout.
getting a credit card associated with a website?
Like a store credit card?
Yeah.
I actually don't have any credit cards of myself, so I can't.
Boy, you're getting
really-
smarter and smarter in my eyes all the time.
If you don't have it, don't buy it.
Yeah.
For car issues, I'll have to get one eventually.
Sure.
But for right now, while I'm in college, I'm not doing it. I already have college loans.
Sure. Sure.
So I can't really speak on that topic.
Yeah. But it would almost seem to me like we had problems. My spouse thinks that anything that comes up on the machine that looks official is official.
No.
And so suddenly you got something and says, press here because your computer has been hacked or there's a virus and we will help you. So he does this.
Yeah, pull
and
back.
He calls the machine. He calls the company or whatever, and then he's speaking to somebody in Bangladesh.
Yep.
And the guy is saying, you have this problem now. I'm going to help you to get through with it.
And remotes into your PC?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah,
and
no.
we did this.
Throw it out.
He did this.
Throw the PC away.
And I'm in the background going, James, don't give that information up. Don't. Well, he's yelling at me, Bob, let me do what I've got. I'm saying, no, how did you know who these people are, etc.? I mean, you probably have heard that from a ton of people.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely don't do that.
Because I think that it's coming, my machine, the computer, when something appears on the screen that I have not had told it to appear, okay, that it's the machine's protection telling me that I need protection.
No. That is a bad...
There's nothing that comes up on the screen that says it's time to do this or it's time to do that. Well, sometimes it is.
Yeah, if you have real-time protection from antivirus, I like Malwarebytes.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not going to sell that.
Yeah, no.
Well,
sure,
I was just going to ask you. All right, I just bought a brand new PC. Right before I put all of my Microsoft Word and this and that on all my apps out there, what's the first thing I should do?
Antivirus. Even a free one where you have to manually scan it, it's still better than nothing if you don't want to pay for it.
Many online services such as Comcast or I think Whip City will do the same thing. They in their package they have an antivirus that have something.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. Have something. Malwarebytes is good because it can partner with another antivirus and not throw an error that, you have two running at one time.
Yeah, you have two conflicting can cause trouble.
Yeah. So if you do, Malwarebytes obviously says that it can replace all antivirus, which it does find a lot of viruses and PUPs, which are potentially unwanted programs.
Listen to this. Potentially unwanted programs, meaning PUPs.
Yeah. So I believe it's pattern based. So they'll find, a boatload of viruses, and it scans your computer for those viruses that they have in their database. And if it detects it, they'll quarantine them, which do not delete stuff from your quarantine, because that means your computer is more vulnerable to get them back. So you want to keep it in that quarantine.
Okay. But that's all well and good, but I think there are some of us out there listening who say, oh my gosh, this is far too complicated for me. And that's where you come in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so you're coming from Southampton by car to my house. Mm-hmm. You're sitting with me in my home and helping me to look at the computer like a dentist looking at your teeth and going, oh, this isn't good.
How long will you sit there staring before you realize it's a lost cause?
And are there lost causes, so that you would then say to the person, we ought to start over.
Yeah.
Why don't you just throw this damn thing out and go out and purchase a Mac, and I'll...
Is there a way to save what you've got? Is there... Say I've got something in there, whether I had an antivirus or not.
Right.
Is there a way to go in and save the PC?
Always have a backup.
What if I don't? Because I've been preaching backup for as long as I've been working on computers. Right. Do I do it myself? Not as often as I should.
No.
Yeah. There are hard drive recovery softwares. So far, I haven't really dealt with those too much, but so far I like Disk Drill, and you can save deleted files. But as far as not having a backup, it's... At
some point, you might really be in trouble.
Yeah.
And then what do? Would you simply clean scrape, wipe the drive, and start again?
In the bad cases, yes.
Yeah. Now, does that really get rid of a virus, or is it better to hard drive in the drill a hole in it and put a new hard drive in?
Right. I'm skeptical that it completely gets rid of viruses. Now I'm saying yes, Malwarebytes gets rid of them. But there's always going to be a new virus. There's always going to be up-and-coming scams. There's no foolproof way to really protect your computer, because you're going to turn the next day and there's going to be a new virus out there that isn't a bad ad on, even not Facebook, but Facebook, any known site, MSN, they might have a bad ad that can put a virus on your computer.
And you made that statement before. We're going to take a break in a sec. But you said this. You said that try not to go on to websites that have a lot of ads.
Yes.
So I go on Amazon.com all the time. But that's okay because it's within Amazon?
Yeah, so Amazon's ads are based off cookies, which I know you had mentioned on break.
Yeah.
So they pull from recently viewed items. Those are the ads you're seeing typically.
Sure.
That, you looked at a kayak before.
That's right.
So you're going to like this kayak.
Yeah, and then I get kayaks forever.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Every kayak manufacturer in the company is emailing me or whatever.
So for the bad ads, I mean, high content ads and
pornographic ads.
Yeah, I didn't want to say that, but yes.
Yeah.
She doesn't know anything about those, Bob.
No.
No, I didn't know if I could say
remember
that.
somebody once telling me when I was doing the computer, and I don't do this, but it said, stay off those sites. I said, what sites? And then they proceed to tell me that there are these sites out there, because that immediately brings folks in that are got another idea besides They're going to attract you
Right.
with your desires
Right.
rather than your needs.
Yeah.
If you get the drift.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. And you'd say the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a really good extension that you could get, or a plugin on browsers, that is called Web of Trust. It's a community-based internet advisory. It's not necessarily security, but what you can do is you can kind of rate websites, and you can see other people's ratings, if it's safe or not. It'll have a green circle if it's good, red circle if it's bad. It's really straightforward.
Yeah.
And then you can rate the websites yourself and say this is good or bad. And
It's such research. I mean, the problem that I see here is that you have to do a lot of research. And for somebody like myself, all I want to do is find out what year that Stephen Stills was born, or what's the meaning of this word, or what organization does this in America, or where can I sell this product, etc.,
You're just
etc.
doing legitimate research, and all this annoying stuff happens.
Yeah.
Right.
And so
Right.
I need somebody that comes in and does this kind of stuff. So when I go to bring you to my home to get to unclear my mind, how much is that going to cost?
$7,432.16.
Yeah.
well, now there's a remote option too, that I can do as long as you have internet
Yeah.
access,
Right.
using TeamViewer, and I can remote in to, it uses a password, and I can save the computer if you want me to my dashboard, so I can just remote in when you need help. But it's
I call you on the phone and say I need help, and you go. You become the master at my computer.
Yes.
What I call it, the ghost in the machine. In fact, Pete
Right.
uses TeamViewer to get into these systems remotely. And
Yeah.
I'll be here in the morning before I go on the air, and here's Pete setting up my program. I'm going, okay, weird things are happening in there,
Right.
and it's you behind the screen, really.
Right.
And
on
those
the other
programs
end.
are really safe.
Yes. Yeah, they're encrypted, and they have, back end, front end security. It's all good.
The more I talk to you, Megan, the more I realize that I need you in my life. But is it going to cost me a fortune to have you have access to my information there, or whatever?
I'm trying to not blindside customers with my pricing. I've done my research, and it is, less
It says like
expensive.
$25 a visit, 25, 30, 40, 50, 100.
Don't get her in trouble.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's subject to vary anytime,
Yeah,
but anyone
sure.
can give me a call, and I can tell them, I
You
think
can
this
give
might.
an
It's an hourly
Yeah.
rate.
Yeah, it is an hourly
rate. Charge an hourly rate.
I get it.
Yeah,
I see.
and then if it's like a virus removal, or networking, like setting up a modem or setup or training, I can do too. It's a flat rate, but it's like only tacked on to the hourly. But those are on the cheaper side, less expensive
It's the
side.
less expensive side, yeah.
So
Yeah.
you can help somebody with some options to make it affordable, or help them
yeah.
decide
Yeah.
they go on a different route.
Yeah, I have a membership option too. So it's $5 off the hourly rate for one. Either there's a standard one where it's 5% off every invoice, and I'll get back to you in under 18 hours.
You really thought this through.
I'm trying. I've had a lot of help from family and friends. So,
Yes.
and then there's another two options. It is paid monthly membership, and then it's $5 off for remote, and then also for on-site that you get one free. So
Oh, interesting. So you have all kinds of options through which you do your tech support.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very interesting. Very, very interesting, as Artie Johnson used to say.
Funny.
Yeah. Yes, not funny at all, but very important. Hey, we got to take a break. We'll be back with you in a minute, Megan, but we are going to, what do you got there for me, Jay? You got a song lined up?
It's a surprise.
Oh, it's a surprise. Okay. Alrighty. We'll talk about this afterward and get back with Megan Gentile from Technique Support. And you're listening to WSKB 89.5 on the dial and Channel 15 if you're watching on television. And my name is Bob Plass, and Jay Peglucas at the board.
They took the whole Cherokee Nation put us on this reservation, took away our ways of life. The tomahawk and the bowie knife took away our native tongue and taught their English to our young. And all the beads we made by hand are nowadays made in Japan. Cherokee people, Cherokee tribe, so proud you live, so proud you die. They took the whole Indian nation, locked us on this reservation. Though I wear a shirt and tie, I'm still part red man inside. Cherokee people, Cherokee tribe, so proud you live, so proud you die. And maybe someday when they've learned, Cherokee Nation will return, will return, will return, will return, will return.
We thank the generosity of our underwriters. For more information, please contact the Westfield State Foundation at 413-572-8646. Friday mornings is something different on 89.5 FM. It's JP's Talk About Town.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from the campus of Westfield State University. This is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.
Wow, it is Tuesday morning. It's August 7th, 2018, and counting. And we are here. I'm Bob Plass from Westfield on Weekends. WestfieldOnWeekends.com is where you get all the information about everything happening in Westfield, as well as Experience. Westfield's a great site as well. Do you know either one of those sites?
Westfield on Weekends, I do.
Yeah, because you went and did your homework
I
there,
did.
Megan Gentile. Yeah, and I'm here with Jay Pagluka, who's in for Pete Coles, and there's no one in for Jay Pagluka because Jay is doing a yeoman job running our board while Pete Coles, my producer, is on. You know, Megan, Jay is actually my Megan in a way on this program because I can't figure out how to run this board, save my life. And so he's there offering me tech support. Mm-hmm. And so just similarly to technique support.
You give the illusion that I know what I'm doing over here. You know.
Hey, how much money... is it worth it to go to a store and you, or even on QVC or some of those other home shopping network or whatever, and you see something for $89? Bring home this tablet for $89.
Don't forget, mail before midnight tonight. But wait, there's more.
Yeah.
Right.
What would you say, to somebody who's going to buy looking at the price rather than buy looking at that investment, as you say?
Right. I would say definitely do your research if you can, if you understand, how to do your research with computers.
Mm-hmm. Or get somebody who knows.
Right. There's a very old adage that you get what you pay for. Now, that's not true for everything.
Yeah. Well, my Asus, which I bought for like $149.
Right. Is it a Chromebook?
No. I see that all the time. Chromebook on there, and I don't know what that means. So I don't. It says, "Do you want to use Chromebook instead?" And I don't know what that means, so I ignore it.
Oh, okay. So Google Chrome is a browser. Chromebooks are Google's software in a laptop. So that's basically the nuts and bolts of. And
it's not. They're not going to sell me anything. It's just something that I could use without. That's a better system. In a sense.
In a sense, if it's what you need for your needs.
Yeah. Well, and the majority of us out there are not wanting to do anything but simple stuff on our computers.
Yeah, for the $89 tablet that you see on QVC, it might be good and it might suit your needs if you just.
But how long will it last? And then what then?
Yeah.
That's my fear is, okay, we've got this Asus. How long? And what's going to happen?
Right.
You have your Mac. You were saying during a break that you have a Mac that you bought when you were 2 years old or something.
In sixth grade. So that was, I don't know how many years
ago. Not only
ago,
that, but she went out and she purchased. She did her research at 2 years old, and she went out and talked to people and knew it.
Really,
that's just an amazing thing.
Right, and in fact, you were around when they were. You were saying instead of gurgle or whatever, you were saying Google as a baby.
Yeah,
that's where it came from.
Yeah. So.
But you have this Mac, you don't use it, but it's still workable.
Yeah. So I've put a new battery in it, and it still needs to be plugged in. But so I guess it works more as a desktop now.
Yes.
But it lasted me all throughout high school. It's got a little chip in the side, but it still works.
Wild. So, but my Asus is not going to last another 100 years.
Not that I think so, but that's just my opinion.
Yes.
That's also what I want to really stress in my business is that, I have recommended products on my page that, are purchased through Amazon.
Right.
And they're just my recommendations. I'm not saying, you have to do this.
Go out and buy this.
Yeah. So if people come to me for suggestions, I'm going to give you my honest suggestion and, say I think this is best for you. And if it's not, I'm not, going to get hurt over it or offended. It's your daily life that you need to work into. You need technology to work into.
And how to fit your daily life how to fit the computer into your daily life rather than the opposite. So many of us are out there doing the opposite, saying, that I've got this life, but I can't get off the computer.
It's the computer into your daily life. And
do you have a computer-free time in your life?
Yes and no.
No?
I have an Apple Watch, so I'm always connected. But I mean, I'm okay with that.
Yes.
And I try and get away if I can. Like, at family functions, I'll put my phone in a separate room. I don't have it in my pocket because I want to actually talk to my family and, what have you been doing?
Yeah, and I find that it is when I go out to dinner, if I turn my cell phone off, I don't need to be connected. And there's some kind of relief when I am using my laptop without the battery and it says you only have 15% left or something, and I'm going, the countdown happens. I better save this, etc. It's that terrible fear that I'm going to be it's going to shut down in the middle of something important.
Right.
And then whether I'm going to be able to save it or not. There was once a time when the machine didn't save, but my machine now saves it even when I don't save it.
Yeah, saves automatically. Yep.
Yeah, which is so brilliant. But, I just wonder for an adult who is not computer savvy, do we really need them in our lives? And do we really need to be connected? And what are your? I think this is a rhetorical question, I suppose. You're all ready to answer this question
right.
for me.
I actually don't think we need to be connected all the time. And, I love computers. I deal with them every day, and I want to deal with them every day.
Right.
But I definitely do not think we have to be connected 24/7. There
Right.
should be a time where, you can detach yourself from your other appendage.
Sure. Oh, yes.
And, just get back in tune with yourself and read a book. Like, just sit down on your bed, lights on. Just
But
read a book.
you could recommend an app where I could read a book.
Right. Kindle, Nook, iBooks.
Yeah.
Anything.
It's exactly right. Yeah.
I have a good friend who we do the same thing for a living, and our worlds are nothing but being connected. That's how we do our job.
Yeah, but in a world of business, you need to be connected.
And you do.
Yeah. And maybe in the real world, you need to be connected, but maybe not as much as some folks think.
But
Right.
he escapes on weekends by finding a mountain to climb, literally.
Right, right.
His goal, and there's a group of people and friends of his, their goal is to climb the highest peaks in every state.
That's awesome.
And the reason he does that, it's not to get to the top of the mountain. It's to escape from the internet.
Oh, wouldn't that? Yes. Yeah. And in fact, we might, you know what? You know how we have tax-free weekends? Megan, I just came up with
Internet-free weekend?
Internet-free weekends that a city or a state goes internet-free, period. I don't think we could do
go
this.
beyond that.
Yeah.
Technology-free. You can't have anything electronic around you.
It's like a smoke-free weekend. Wouldn't that be? I don't know if it would be possible, but what do you think on this? I think I come up with a brilliant idea that a lot of people might buy into.
Yeah. I would do it.
Yeah, I want that vacation, and then I don't have to know anything during that time.
You don't know anything now.
Hey, we're winding down here. Technique Support has all kinds of ways to find you, Megan Gentile.
Yes.
How do we do that?
Techniquesupport.com, TECHNIQ support.com, and 703 Technique, also 703-832-4647.
That's a telephone.
Yes.
Okay.
And you can also text it too. So.
And you can also text. So it's the three letters, and then Technique is TECHNIQ.
Yes.
Okay. So you then what the heck is it?
703 Technique.
703 Technique.
Yeah, if I give you a call back too, it'll come up as Virginia. But that was the only available area
I
code.
thought your name was Megan.
Oh, Virginia, yeah.
No, sorry.
Sorry, over my head.
I got her.
Over my head.
It's a state, not a
Yes,
name.
the state of Virginia.
It's gonna. So you have an area code that you found, and you were about to tell us why.
So that was the only area code that worked with the combination of 832-4647.
I gotcha.
So on the Sideline app, which I would love a 413 number.
Yes.
But I
was
can't really
taken.
do that. Yeah.
So it's a 703 Technique.
Yes.
You're still brilliant. You're brilliant. Are
Thank
you
you.
a 4.0 student?
I am.
Oh,
Wouldn't you just die to have this kind of student in your class, or somebody in your home who's got a 4.0? It's sort of like a genius or something.
I'm sure everyone's proud of you. So that's
Thank you.
But the pressure's on, isn't it?
Yeah, last semester.
Oh my
Come on now.
God!
Yeah, it's not everything it's cracked up to be.
When are you going back to school here, Megan?
September 6th or something, first week.
Well, we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
It's certainly a pleasure to talk to you this morning.
Yeah.
Likewise for you.
Hope you had fun.
Yeah.
Same
and for those who want some support out there, that you offer that, and there are others out there that are doing your business, but this is one choice that people could have.
Right.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And we thank you, and I'd love to have you come back. We can talk heritage books, which is another interesting thing. Heritage books on Route 202 or something.
Route 10 in Southampton.
And what are those Heritage Books. What is it? It's a bookstore.
It's a bookstore,
It
yes.
sells what kind of books?
They're used books, but we make sure they're clean and, good quality.
Oh, really?
We have
I thought-
paperbacks, hardcovers.
I always rode by there, and I always thought, well, it's a particular niche of book that I didn't really need, that there were history books or something.
Oh, no, we have fiction, kids' books.
Never knew that.
Everything, yeah.
Wow.
So-
Well, in all of your lives, I wish you success. You have to
Thank
come
you.
back sometime, Megan.
Thank you for having me.
And I got to thank Tom Sharp out there for connecting the two of us. He's yeah. Well, hey, everybody, it is 7:59 in the morning. Jay, what are we going to go off with? What song are you going to be playing today?
We're going to go off with some.
Oh, you're not on you're not on. I think turn on your microphone there, Mr.
No one wants to
Producer.
hear me.
All right.
We're going to go out with some class. Here's an old classic from the 70s, Precious and Few.
Oh, precious and few are the whatever. Get out there and volunteer. What a precious and few are the moment.
Precious and few are the moments we two can share. Quiet and blue like the sky hung over you. And if I can't find my way back home, it just wouldn't be fair. Precious and few are the moments we two can share. Baby, it's you on my mind. Your love is so rare. Being with you is a feeling I just can't compare. And if I can't hold you in my arms, it just wouldn't be fair. 'Cause precious and few are the moments we two can share. If I can't find my way back home, it just wouldn't be fair. 'Cause precious and few are the moments we two can share. Precious and few are the moments we two can share. Like the sky all over you. And if I can't find my way back home, it just wouldn't be fair. 'Cause precious and few are the moments we two can share.
We thank the generosity of our underwriters. For more information, please contact the Westfield State Foundation at